watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 4th, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting, the first one of 2023 on January 4th. Can you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shannon, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Latchford?
Here.
Mr. Freeze?
Here.
Mrs. Sperling? Here.
All right. First up is the election of officers for 2023. And first we have Park Board President. Any nominations?
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Phil Latchford, you, for president for 2023.
Wait, any second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next up is nominations for Park Board Vice President. Any nominations?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Phil Freeze as the Park Board Vice President for the year 2023.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We're going to table the Park Board Secretary position till our next meeting in January. Do you have a motion to table?
I would move that we table item C under 3 until next meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, following that up, we have our liaison appointments for 2023. Plan Commission liaison, any nominations?
I would nominate Mr. Latchford.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Port Authority liaison, any nominations?
I'll nominate myself.
Oh, sorry. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And we will table the Zoo Society Board.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to table item C under C under item 4 until our next meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second. Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, our minutes from our previous meeting on Wednesday, December 21st were prepared in advance and presented. So unless there are any corrections or additions, do we have a motion to approve?
I would move we accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any project updates or old business?
No, sir.
All right. We do have the tabled business of the full-time golf pro compensation package. Have a motion to remove that from the table?
I would move that we take the full-time golf pro compensation package off the table.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, get with it then.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
The spreadsheet within your packet entitled Golf Pro Compensation, if you would like to turn to that page. So we tabled this item last meeting because there was some questions regarding a city employee operating a retail business in the clubhouse while being employed by the city. Our legal advice is not to proceed with this activity, as our mutual goal is to improve the management of the golf operation. Hiring an experienced manager who understands golf as well will be the key to improving the golf operation. As you are aware, the advertised posting states we will require an applicant to have PGA credentials. In 3 weeks of advertisement, I have only received 3 applications. I am requesting board approval that I revise the posting by eliminating any compensation to the golf manager from clubhouse sales, golf lessons, and the removal of the request to be PGA certified. The prospective full-time golf manager will be offered a competitive salary with a range of $40,000 to $55,000 annually, and the benefit package shown on the spreadsheet in front of you. I would like to re-advertise this position starting tomorrow until January 13th and begin interviewing thereafter. So if it would meet your approval, I would like to revise the posting and ask for applications from persons not needing PGA and not to offer compensation for selling Pro Shop merchandise and to remove golf lessons from that position.
Questions or comments?
Excuse me, did you say till January 13th?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not in disagreement of removing the golf lesson and the Golf Pro merchandise sales for the reasons that I think the Golf Pro merchandise sales is going to continue to dwindle as people buy online. I mean, we can see here, it already went down 20 grand in sales from the year before. So I don't know how attractive that is. And then, of course, we have the issue of who pays for the inventory, which I know we discussed a little bit last time. And as far as the golf lessons, I'm not sure why that was taken off. I mean, I know that can take away from their full-time position, and that's probably a little bit of a gray area, but is that why?
It could be discussed further, but I think as far as I've heard that golf lessons have to be
Schedule time.
taught by a certified pro.
Mhm.
And we're not asking for a certified.
Okay, that's why you're doing it. Okay. Mhm. I also think that since you got 3 applications and that was with the PGA requirement, that's probably pretty good for this time of the year because I feel like we're a little bit, late in hiring someone. So 3 positions, were they did their resumes look good? Were they viable candidates or?
I would say mediocre.
Okay.
I think that we would have received more if we were not asking for the certification.
Oh, okay.
And I'm hoping to receive more if we remove that request.
Yeah, I see.
On the flip side, I did hear from one pro who did not submit an application because of the removal of golf lessons and Golf Pro merchandise. So firsthand knowledge of that. Are we going to offer any sort of merchandise in the pro shop, and what's your plan to account for that, inventory it, pay for it?
I would like to provide pro shop equipment. I'm negotiating with a few sporting goods stores right now to hopefully acquire a consignment negotiation. I'm hoping that I can find a sporting good store that will provide equipment on consignment and provide equipment in there.
Is that something that needs to be advertised?
Well, if I can't find anybody, we would probably have to advertise to find.
Well, can you just find someone without advertising? You said you've reached out, you're looking for. I just want to make sure you don't engage someone and then we have to advertise that to have the ability to have the consignment of inventory. I'm not sure if we do. Would you know, Laura?
Request for proposal. I think it's gonna depend on the amount. Oh, sorry, Drew. Yeah, I'm gonna be concerned about the amount. This is the first time hearing about that, so we'll need to talk about that, but certainly that's something that we'll have to look into.
The amount of money.
The consignment, yeah, what it is we're going to be talking about.
So here, it looks like Golf Pro merchandise sales are in the 68,000 last year and 88,000 year before. So does that,
Yeah, is that gonna trigger a notice? I'm not entirely sure right now.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, again, on that note, I think that is going to continue to decline anyway because of online purchases. I know that there's local, clubs that they don't sell much in their stores. So I don't know how important that would be for us to have unless it was minimal things like golf balls and things that people would need for that day. They're going to come with a shirt. So we don't have to have shirts, but we have to have golf balls, I'm sure. So just a thought to throw that in with that. But I guess like you said with the PGA, I don't know. That's not my area of expertise as far as, that. I guess we can drop it and see who we get for applicants. I'm not sure what to say about that.
my only, I'm disappointed that we're taking this route, but I'm not going to fight it. When the mayor's against having a pro, our superintendent's against having a pro, our city attorney is against having a pro, even though we have differences of opinions as to why and why I think it can happen. You can't fight City Hall, so this is one where even though I think it's not the right decision, how much do you want to continue to fight administration? So
Okay.
that's kind of where I am at this point.
Okay.
If it was up to me, I would keep the pro. I would fight for having them lessons because the pro brings a whole other element of professionalism, how to manage a course, how to manage operations, how to engage junior golf participants. And you get the whole package, and they're trained specifically for golf course management. But at some point, some things you fight for a little bit, and it's just not worth the fight. And that's why I will go along with the recommendation of the superintendent personally.
I do want you to know, Phil, that my goal is to eventually have a pro. I wish we could have a pro. That would be my goal. I think right now the main purpose here is to improve the management because the golf course has not brought in or generated the income that it should or could. I think the potential there is high. And I'm not saying that I don't want a pro. I basically do want to have a pro, but I think right now it's necessary that we find a manager and fix some of the problems that we have out there and increase the revenue.
So Ed, again, we just have a difference of opinion because in my mind, that's what a pro does. Everything you just said, that's their job. But again, it's made very clear to me that we're not going to be able to get a pro this year without a monumental fight. And we got other things to worry about that are just as important, if not more important.
Yeah. Okay.
Quick question. How big are you advertising I haven't seen the posting, but the health insurance benefits and all the other benefits that go along, is that listed in the posting as well? And I say that because, we have that same issue in regards to recruiting police, fire, and others. We hear that number about salaries and everything like that, but the benefit package, that's nice. I mean,
It is.
what we're looking at in that first line right there. So I was just wondering if we are using that, putting that out there, so people can see that when they're coming to apply for this job, because I think that's a big thing, like I said, for what we're doing with this position as well as others in the city, to put that up there and show the health insurance benefits. So that was a question. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just wondered, do we have someone in mind who would fit this professional, position without the PGA requirement? Do we have?
I have no one in mind until I interview.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions from the public? Yes, sir. If you could please go to the microphone. Sir, please go to the microphone. And there's one up top and there's one down here. And if you could just state your name and address for the record. And welcome, by the way,
Sure.
and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. This on?
Yes.
Rob Warwick, 411 Belton. Just a couple comments. Golf lessons are like seeds you plant. I don't think you should handicap whoever you're gonna hire, without them being able to do golf lessons. That's kind of, like I said, it's like planting seeds in the future. You gotta bring people in, and there's a lot of people that want to golf that need a little help. Golf lessons are, I think, pretty much important for someone who is going to be in charge out there. Also, they're trying to get some outside sports shop. There's a lot of things outside of like club repair. There's a lot of things that they do in-house, like club repair, even ordering clubs, getting fitted for clubs that the person there, where it's going to be there, has to do. Yeah, there's a few things that just can't get someone outside. You got to have somebody hands-on right there that can address a lot of the problems. Also, hopefully you get somebody I would hope locally that can connect with all the nonprofit groups that have golf out in there, because actually that contributes to the city community. Because a lot of people don't like golfers in particular because it's their game. But believe me, the golf course out there raises a lot of money for the nonprofit groups in town, so keep that in mind too. It's recreation for most people, but it helps with fundraising with the Girls Club and a lot of things alike. The mayor used to do outings, raise a lot of money with the nonprofit groups. But that's my comment. I don't know if a certified pro is going to be any better than someone that is in the game, that can play the game, and good with people. That's what you need. A people person out there. That's the welcoming mat is the golf pro or a golf person, whoever manager. That's the welcoming mat at a golf course. That's what you need. You need a people person out there. I'm gonna say this Magnuson fits the picture, but if Mr. Shin and the park board and somebody else, more power to you. But I think Chris has been doing a good job out there. He's been there for 7 years. I know it's always looking for greener money, greener pastures when you do have the golf course out there. It's a great place. John Marshall does a good job with maintaining the golf course. So it's a money maker for the city. Has been for the past couple of years. I shouldn't get a worry about weather, but hopefully that whoever it is out there help with everything in mind. Like I said, club repair, fundraising, and I would like to see less out there. I don't think I probably do.
Don't we all?
I think it's important. Like I said, it brings in more people that wouldn't particularly golf. You got lessons. Let's keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warwick. I think those were very good. That was very good suggestions. And in the future, I do want to see golf lessons out there. I do want to see a golf pro out there eventually, if that's possible. I'm just curious why a golf pro has not applied for the job. Okay, so maybe this is as far as we can go right now, and when the golf course generates more money, then we'll be able to offer more.
But I think, with him,
Sir, I'm sorry, but you'd have to go to microphone.
with the merchandise that they make, the golf lessons, what they make, club repair, all the other, it's simple and diamond, but that helps with the salary. I just think that's an incentive for somebody that wants to manage out there. You definitely have to give them, it comes on money back to everything. Like Ryan said, police, fire, and all that stuff, that package deals. If it's a nice package, then you're gonna get a good quality person. Like I said, I still endorse Rick Magnuson. Hope maybe one of the candidates that applied.
I have encouraged Chris to apply, sure.
Yes, but I say he's done a great job, been there for 7 years. I don't know. Every position, you know, from the mayor down gets, constructive criticism, but the overall picture, like I say, he's a good people person. I think he does a great job out there. Also, I don't know if, another thing that I'm not particularly aware of, but I think it is, won't they currently get something per cart on outings? Isn't that an incentive also, but
There's not a cart, it's not per cart, it's a per golfer fee, but that would go away in this, under this situation.
I didn't hear that also mentioned. I would say there. It comes down by. That's you're gonna get paid for, believe me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Welcome.
How you doing? My name's Dave Lamb. I'm the president of the Michigan City Mixed Club Golf Association. We're also very fond of Chris. He's done a great job for 7 years. But I'd like to say one thing. I think the board is doing the right thing, even though Mr. Lashford doesn't agree. The golf course for the, we haven't had a card carrying pro since Jim Ransberger. That's been probably 30 or 40 years. The rest of them have all been just what you want to call it managers. The last couple of mayors have entertained the idea of having the general manager of golf course. Personally, I believe that's what it needs. You need somebody to tell whoever in charge of the pro shop is in charge of maintenance. They have to be on the same page, and for some reason, sometimes they're not. So I think this is a step in the right direction. Other than that, it is all about money. I'm good friends with the pro at Long Beach and at Potawatomi. They give lessons after lessons. That's how they make their money. And the pro shop. If you take that away from them, that's the reason you have nobody applying for this job. $55,000, even though it sounds like if that's the top pay and this benefit package, they're making twice that at these other golf courses. So I hate to tell you this, but that's why you only have 3 applications, I'm sure.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb. Any other public comment?
Mr. President, may I make a comment?
Please.
And so this is coming from the other side of the council, the city council. And I'll bet my next paycheck, these will be some of the arguments that would come up with the city council. First of all, we got the salary and the benefits package. We're talking about that. And I know there will be questions regarding the golf lessons and other things like that. And there would be questions about job creep. Would they be taking care of the duties with the golf course, or would they be concentrating more on golf lessons? I know that would be coming. I know that's going to come. And you said it's all about money. And I know there are going to be people that'll start adding up dollars, just simple dollars based on what somebody else could earn. And that will be an issue. So I understand, where you're coming from. You guys, the comments you made, you understand the issue. But I do know that would be some of the concerns that with the council. You're talking about money in a new position. It's going to be a budget issue as well coming around. But those will be some of the issues. And Phil has been around here a long time. He understands how that's going to work. But you're going to have folks that'll ask those questions or say, well, how are you going to make sure that this person is not concentrating on this, not concentrating on the job of, improving the golf course. So this one is, you're going to have people on different sides of the fence here. We have people here that would, disagree on how we should do this. So I understand both sides of it, but I'm just telling you some of the issues when you're talking about money, where we'll run into some issues when it comes to the city council as well. So this one is not going to be over, as the superintendent said. He wants to have a golf pro. So this issue is probably going to come up at some point in the future. But I just kind of know where some of the pushback and some of the things that are going to come from the city council. I mean, we had people on the city council didn't want to give raises to our department heads after we did a professional survey that said what they should be earning. So
these are going to be touchy issues going forward, but we're all here for it. And hopefully we work out a good deal where we can get someone that can and help increase revenues and help improve the golf course and do some other things. So, it's all about improving the city, this department, and everything like that. So I look forward to these discussions.
Thank you, Councilman Dabney. And that's one thing that's the common denominator is we all want the golf course to be well-run, profitable, and provide recreational opportunities for not only the citizens, but our guests.
Thanks.
Any other comments?
Where are we advertising for this position, or where have we and where are we?
If I could ask Mrs. Eason where we had advertised in the past for this position. Shannon, could you let us
So
know?
the initial job posting was the PGA requirement was posted with the Indiana PGA and also Southwest Michigan PGA, as well as on our website and through the city's normal personnel channels.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Comment. That question I asked was, how long ago we had at one time, we had asked golfers and they formed a committee. I don't know, there were 4 or 5 of them that got together. Dave, I don't know if you were on that or not.
It was probably about 15, 20 years.
It was quite a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been-
Anyhow, they came up with some good ideas and that's perhaps what we need, some ideas from the golfers. Just a thought. Yeah, I thought it was beneficial before. We improved a couple things. Not that we would accept anything, but I think some ideas are better than none. That could help the individual who's going to run our golf course. That's what do the golfers want? What do the golfers think?
Phil, I think that's a very good idea. I think getting the golfers together and finding information from the persons who actually golf is a very good idea. I think, but right now, by us changing from a contractor to an employee, I'm going to be able to get more empirical data regarding profit and loss statements, hot dog in, hot dog out. Those are the kind of things that I need to make sure that the place is managed properly.
Yeah, just a thought.
And it's a good thought. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, so before us is this recommendation. The superintendent's recommending we remove the golf lesson and pro shop merchandise from the golf pro compensation and eliminate the pro from the job description.
I don't want to remove the merchandise, but I want to remove the sale of merchandise going towards the employee. The
Okay,
profits.
thank you for that clarification. What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, I think the superintendent asked for time to revise the posting until January 13th. I would make that motion that
I'm sorry, I'd like to revise the posting to tomorrow. I have it revised but not typed up, and I'd like it to go out tomorrow.
until the 13th. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Mhm.
Anyhow, to revise the posting starting tomorrow. So in order to allow him to get it out and until January 13th.
And to drop the PGA, right? Okay,
But it's just, he was going to revise the
got it.
posting.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Right, moving on to new business, we have a revision to vacation policy number 303.
Yes, this is a simple revision where you're asking to add the language that vacations must be scheduled with the approval of the employee supervisor and the park superintendent, a minimum of 1 week in advance. That used to be our policy in the past. I'm not sure why it's not in our handbook right now, but that just gives supervisors advance notice to be able to schedule their staff.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Questions or comments? None. Questions from the public? Seeing none, we have a motion to approve revision to vacation policy number 303.
I would move that we accept the revision hours for vacation.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now it's revision to holiday policy number 305.
Thank you, Mr. Latchford.
You're welcome.
As a holiday gift, Mayor Perry has offered each employee of the city a paid vacation day within their birthday month. Since the park department has its own policies, it will be necessary for the park board to make final judgment for those employees who work in the park department. For your review, the city policy will be stated as follows. Subject to scheduling and permission of supervisor, employees shall have an option of taking their birthday as a holiday on the respective day of their birthday or as a holiday on a day during the month of their birthday. I recommend your approval on this additional annual benefit, and this was something that occurred years ago, apparently. And this is in italics. What I just read is the city policy, and I've heard that it's nice to have the park department policy consistent unless you want to change the wording.
Thank you, Ed. Questions from the board? I have a question. Shannon, we typically try to maintain consistency in our policies with the city handbook. Is this one that's come before the board before to correct since it's inconsistent? Or is this a new day off
The holiday policies just came out last week, adding the birthday. And I believe it's going to Board of Works now.
It's been approved by them.
It's already been approved.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Why is it that we are having to talk about this if they're a city employee? I see here it says we have different policies. Is that because of the seasonal?
Well, we have our own policy and nothing supersedes that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know why we have our own policy, but we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shannon, do you know why we have our own? It's for everything. We have our own.
Because we have a park board. So other cities that don't have the boards are covered under the Board of Works and Safety.
Mm.
We have a park board. They set policy for that.
I see.
department.
Okay.
We try to stay consistent,
Mhm.
cities' policies, but
Yeah.
they get approved on at both board levels.
Okay.
I'll, at the risk of being unpopular again, because whenever this comes up, these added holidays and vacations, it just seems how many, I don't want to put you on the spot, but how many paid holidays are there now for city employees?
15 in a normal year and 17 in an election year.
And this would be 18. So I just, I think it's very generous. I'll just leave it at that. Any other questions or comments? Questions from the public? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
See if I can get this right. I moved it to we accept the proposal to amend our park policy for birthdays.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, now we have a submission for letter of intent to apply for Health Care Foundation of LaPorte County grant for phase 2 of the Singing Sands Trail.
Thank you. The letter of intent was included in your packets. The letter of intent would need to be filed before midnight on January 27th of 2023. And this is regarding phase 3 of the Singing Sands Trail. Just to remind the board and the public, NERC was able to obtain state and federal grant money to complete many segments of the Marquette Greenway in Northwest Indiana. Our segment is 3.8 miles that needs to be constructed Estimated cost right now is just over $8.1 million. NERC is giving us $4.9 million, and the city council has committed to the match to that, which is just over $1.8 million. They did that at their meeting on December 20th. So what I'd like to do is apply for a Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte grant to offset the city's $1.8 million match. We have not, the park department has not applied for any Healthcare Foundation grants. However, the city of LaPorte has been extremely successful in getting money for trails and playgrounds. So I think that's a source that we need to start looking into. So this is the first step. If they accept our letter of intent, then we would be invited to put in for a full application that's due February 3rd.
Thank you, Shannon.
I'm sorry, March 3rd. I want to push that deadline any closer.
Yeah, right. I'm kidding.
Any questions,
Mm-mm.
comments? Shannon, I just had one quick comment. The thoroughness of this letter, and you're able to, in as few as words possible, clearly and succinctly describe exactly where we are in the process. And that, I know that's not easy to do, so thank you for that. One question on page 3. There's a chart with some titles on the above each row. One's PE and ROW, CN, CE. What do those mean?
So in the grant world, you swim in acronyms, literally. So PE is professional engineering, so known as design and engineering of the project. Right of way is right of way services, which includes surveying and also acquisition of land to build the trail. CN is construction, which is just boots on the ground construction. CE is construction engineering, which is also referred to as construction inspection, meaning that you have someone hired to monitor the construction to make sure it's being built to the design.
Thank you.
Well,
Any other questions or comments from the board, from the public? Just one other quick comment. Shannon, just want to applaud you again for always looking for alternative sources for financing. Yeah, so, all
Nice work, Shannon.
Yes.
right, what's the pleasure of the board?
I would move that we allow the submission of a letter of intent to apply for this Healthcare Foundation LaPorte
I'll second that.
County
Oh,
grant,
sorry.
phase 3 of Singing Sands.
No, I'll second that.
Everything.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Next, we have the memorandum of understanding with Harbor County Adventures.
Yeah, included in your packet is the 2023 proposal submitted by Mr. Thierry. He's here tonight. Just a few details. The bones of the MOU are the same as in previous years. They have been reviewed and approved by Attorney Nuremberg. This year, the proposal is to pay the city $1,000 rental for the plaza from Memorial Day to Labor Day. I'd like to remind the board that when Harbor Country Adventures does not have events planned in the plaza, we are still able to utilize the plaza and rent that out to the public. One big change for this year is we'd like to pass on the responsibility of booking events at the plaza to Harbor Country. Similarly to what we're doing with North Point Pavilion and Sunset Grill. And this is to keep customers from going back and forth between the two of us. Victor actually stepped in on a couple of events last year. One was a friend's wedding. And they're just looking for furnishing. They're looking for extra porta pots. We have a lot of questions. It was not your responsibility to do that, but I was happy he stepped in. It's a one-stop shopping experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to increase our rentals at the plaza. So I think it makes perfect sense. I would recommend the same type of agreement we have with Sunset Grill, that we would pay them back 25% administrative fees out of our rental fees. And last year, our rentals totaled $950. So he's paying me $1,000, which covers what we took in last year, and we would pay back 25%. And just, I guess, a personal comment, it's been a real pleasure working with Victor and his company. They have brilliant ideas to bring recreation to Michigan City. They furnished the plaza, which was once unused.
Mhm.
And it was a simple fix. Put tables and chairs there, people might use it. Add some pop machines. The events are great. They're very reasonably priced. So I would highly recommend that the board approve moving forward with this agreement in 2023. And I personally look forward to the added events that Park Country will put on this year.
Mhm.
Thank you, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Questions, comments from the board?
Mhm.
My only comments, I would echo Shannon's applaud for Victor and his group. Some great events down there, and it just adds more recreational opportunities for everyone in Michigan City. And he takes on the burden of putting them on and the risk of putting them on.
Mhm.
So a great partner for the park department. Any questions from the public? What's the pleasure of the board?
Excuse me. Will we accept this memorandum of understanding between Park and Recreation Department and Harbor Country Adventures?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, next we have the Millennial Plaza rental agreement.
And this is related to the MOU that you just approved. This is updating, actually Millennium Plaza did not have its own rental agreement. We had one for Washington Park, so you just choose the facility. So this one mimics the Sunset Grill rental agreement. This is the agreement between the private renter to use the plaza. This is not between us and Harbor Country. So Laura has reviewed it. We've updated the indemnification. It's been reviewed by an insurance company. And it just has a few more requirements for people that are using the plaza than are just generic shelter agreement.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
I have a comment, and I had the same comment with Sunset Grill is the minimum age. It's 18. And are there many people who are 18 under 21 that rent this space for parties? I just think that's such a close age to the teenagers that it's just something I really want our board to consider, to increasing that to 21. I mean, because
the only people that really rent any of our facilities that are between the 18 and 21, we've had a handful of bands over the year.
Mhm.
And one I remember, they would do a free get out of school concert every year. Which
Yeah.
was super cool. Like all the kids would come down to the park for music.
Well, that's cool, but I mean the person who's actually doing the renting of the space,
Yeah.
that they can be 18, 19, 20 and rent the space. And then if there's less than 100 people, there's no police there.
Right.
Just something to think about.
Yeah. I don't recall that we don't keep any of those at all.
Yeah.
Band parties.
Hmm.
And if there's alcohol, they have to be 21. So
Yep.
I would say in the last 5 years, there were none
Hmm.
that were under 21.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that leads me to one of my last things on the last page, Exhibit A, as far as all the rules, the regulations. There's nothing in here about illegal drugs, because people could go to their cars and do, illegal drugs. So I know that they can't rent if there's no alcohol, but alcohol is kind of one of the last things on the list these days with people and their recreation. So,
So these are park rules. These are not city ordinances. So illegal drugs are against the law.
right.
But that's not something that we could enforce. So I'm not opposed to adding that
Hmm.
to this. I'm just saying these were rules created and approved by the park board.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So I guess what I'm saying is probably not all of these are like illegal if you're not on our property.
Okay. I guess it just kind of makes it clear,
Yeah, the board's pleasure would certainly add that language. I would suggest too, if the board's pleasure is to add that language, that we add that to all park rules, because
Mhm.
these kind of apply to our playground, Sardina.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
We could put it in form of the motion. I don't see anyone that was, as you said, it eliminates all doubt.
Yeah.
We could make a motion and see if it flies.
Mm-hmm.
And make a motion to add it or amend it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Comments from the public?
I have one more. Under the parking spaces, the 36 parking spaces, does the park then charge for that parking space like we do in the regular park, or is that included with? I know some events include free parking spaces. Does that include?
Yes, so
How
that's
does
the one free lot in Washington Park. We don't charge for that
Oh,
lot.
okay. I didn't know that.
Just logistically, it would be difficult. to
Okay.
set it.
Okay.
Mr. Shin, did you have a question?
Yes, I comment. I just want to comment that Victor, it's been a pleasure working with you. You do a great job, a fantastic job of bringing events in. I've worked with you before. After your concerts, you have a crew cleaning up the garbage and it's spotless when you get done. I just ask that you please ask your renters not to have a mechanical bull.
There won't be any bulls, sir.
Thank you.
All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Do you want to make a condition to this?
Is that a separate thing? Is it all together?
Well, if you put it on her, then it would be all together.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'll give it a shot. So I'd like to make a motion to add to the Exhibit A regulations for Millennium Plaza, number 18, or wherever you want to fit it in, something to the effect of no illegal drugs, if you want to say according to the state of Indiana or federal government, on property of park or parking lot, or something of that matter. And then also, to approve the Millennium Plaza rental agreement with the changes.
Is that in? I'll second her motion. Good job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, next up is greenhouse lease agreement renewal.
Alrighty, so in front of the board tonight is approval of renewing the greenhouse lease with Harbor Country Adventures. To remind the board, this would be the third year of the 3-year lease. And beyond this lease, we would need to put this out to bid again.
Thank you, Shannon. Questions or comments from the board?
I don't think we've had any problems in the past.
What would be the plan to start the process for getting a lease for the next 3 years? And when could we start that?
So I did research the statutes and it doesn't give a timeline. It doesn't say that you need to do it, so many months before or after the term of the current lease. So I don't believe a timeline exists. However, during the holidays, I haven't had a chance to talk with Attorney Nuremberg, get her thoughts on that. But the way I read the statutes, I would believe that we could start putting that bid packet together at any time. I do know Mr. Thierry is interested in a longer term lease. So to remind the board, if it goes beyond 3 years, it would need city council approval. The other items that I'm pretty sure that we're going to have to get new appraisals. So it's been close to 3 years. And I believe we discussed this before. That's, it has to be something current. So that's going to be part of the bid process and additional expense.
And what do you mean new appraisals?
You have to have the lease space appraised for fair market value.
Oh, okay.
So those are a couple items to consider is, would the board want to approach the city council to go out for a longer term lease?
Mhm.
Yeah, I would ask Councilman Dabney. I know you can't speak for the entire board, but what would be the vibe of the council if, let's say, we have a market value of X, we have one bidder and it's below market value, would the council approve a 5-year lease at that point, do you think?
I would imagine they would. I'm trying to find I don't want to say a good way of saying this, but I would just say yes. I think that they would. I don't see that as being a big issue. Someone bringing that up during the council meeting. So I think they'd really follow, what the park board wants to do.
Okay.
I don't see that as something that'd be a stickler for any other council members.
Thank you, Councilman. So I think maybe we'll consult with Mr. Thierry and see what his goals are for the length of a lease, and if we can explain the process to him. And if I think we'd like to have him as a long-term tenant. If he would like that, we can explain the issue, what's required and the pros and cons of it, and then we decide what to do at that point in terms of the length of the agreement. So maybe we could just reach out to Mr. Thierry and explain all that.
So Mr. Thierry and I did meet before the holidays, and we did go over the lease requirements and the park's obligations legally for extending that lease. He is interested in a longer term. And I guess I would say, even if it went to the council and they were not in favor of it, it would just come back to this board every year.
Okay.
So, there's very little work involved in just taking it to that next step. If that's everyone's goal, is to make it, 5 years or 7 years.
And would that be a single vote by the council, or would that require multiple?
I believe it's a single vote,
Thank you.
correct? I don't know if it's on an ordinance level.
Resolution. It'll be a resolution.
Yeah.
I don't see it being.
All right. Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments from anyone? If not, do I have a motion to approve the greenhouse lease agreement renewal?
We're just talking about April 7th of this year through April 6th of next year. Okay. I would move that we accept the terms of lease renewal that's printed.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we have 3 resolutions that are on the agenda. 997, 1000, 1. I think we did resolution number 998, 999 last meeting.
Yep.
Oh. All right, so unless there's an objection, I'll read the preamble to the first one and then just read the guts on the others. Seeing no objection. Resolution number 997, whereas the superintendent of Park and Recreation has reported that a certain transfer of funds are necessary within the budget of Michigan City Park Department of Parks and Recreation because of unanticipated expenses from various accounts, which accounts do not have sufficient funds available for disbursement for said expenses. And whereas there are funds available for said expenses in various other accounts which are not expected to be paid from said accounts during the remainder of this budget year, and whereas the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board has determined that said expenses are necessary and that an account transfer should be made in order to meet said expenses now. Therefore, it be resolved that the following transfer be made from the following named accounts to the following named accounts for the purposes stated therein. Decrease fund 2056505 maintenance fund seasonal salary 7,500. Increase fund 2056505 maintenance fund contractual 7,500. Unless there are questions or comments, we have a motion to approve resolution number 997.
I would move we accept resolution number 997.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 1000, decrease fund 2507 concession fund contractual 2,600. Increase fund 2507 concession fund capital outlay other 2,600. Unless there are questions or comments, do I have a motion to approve resolution number 1000?
I would move we accept resolution 1000.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution number 1001, decrease fund 2508 golf fund contractual $383, increase fund 2508 golf fund fees and charges $383. Do you have a motion to approve resolution number 1001?
I move we accept resolution 1001.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution number 1002, decrease fund 2204-504 zoo fund, overtime, $11,340, repairs and maintenance building, $5,506, contractual, $2,030. Increase fund 2204-504 zoo fund, fees and charges, $11,340, sick pay buyback, $5,506, and regular wages, $2,030. Do we have a motion to approve resolution number 1002?
Move we accept resolution 1002.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Any other new business tonight that we need to attend to?
No, sir.
Right. Next then is the superintendent's report. Mr. Shin.
Thank you, Mr. Latchbury. This evening, I would like to report on the senior center, golf maintenance, the zoo, and park maintenance. At the senior center, an update on the flooring project and office relocation. There was some question regarding whether or not the blueprints for the project need approval in Indianapolis. Architect Mr. Fedorchuk has contacted the building inspection department and will notify us when he gets an answer. Everything else at the senior center, by the way, is going very well. Golf maintenance. The golf maintenance crew, we have 2/3 back. One person is still on vacation. This is the only time this golf maintenance crew gets to find time for vacation in the dead of winter. But they are beginning their equipment maintenance projects, and it's quite a sight to be seen when they take these machines apart. It's not just sharpening blades. They go over these machines quite well. At the zoo, the soft release of the tigers was a complete success on December 22nd. The tigers were released into their completed new enclosure. They seemed very perplexed at first, then moved about naturally after several minutes. And the lion portion of the exhibit is closing in on its completion and should be complete at the beginning of February. Park maintenance. The holiday lights will be an attraction for 4 more nights. Then park maintenance will begin to take apart the lights and gingerly put them back to their resting place until next fall. During the winter storm, the crew observed at the maintenance shop repairing and building picnic tables. And this is not just a couple of picnic tables. It's an amazing amount of picnic tables that we have throughout our parks, and they do a great job keeping these things repaired. And as the weather improved, I also observed the work that moved outside. That was the removal of fallen tree debris. That is a constant reminder to me that after every storm, debris hits the ground, and it's always picked up throughout our parks by our park maintenance and golf course maintenance. They do a great job too, and this is something that you don't see it and you don't think about it, but they pick up debris constantly from storms like we had. Sand removal is still a big job at the parking lot at Washington Park. Sand removal with the front end loader and hand work has taken place in the last 2 weeks as well. During the storm, the park maintenance, as all departments have been struggling outside during the holidays in their plows, keeping the park and the zoo parking lot free of snow so the zoo staff could get to work. The zoo maintenance man, he's quite new there, Dave Dipert, is keeping the paths open at the zoo from the snow during this storm we had during the holidays and keeping the keepers able to feed the animals. And that concludes my report. And there was no vandalism.
Thank you, Mr. Shin.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from Superintendent? All right, seeing none. We'll move on to the liaison reports. Planning Commission liaison, which is me. There was not a meeting since our last meeting. We do have one scheduled for the end of January. Port Authority liaison, Mr. Freeze.
I assume there'll be one next Monday. I don't know. Yeah, next Monday. I'll be there.
Thank you. And The Michigan City Zoological Society liaison report was Mr. Lang, and we'll appoint a new liaison at our next meeting. Attorney's report, Ms.
Nothing to
Nuremberg.
report, Mr. Latchford.
Thank you. Any director's reports tonight?
No, sir.
All right, that leaves us with Department of Finances. Gifts and donations from Peg Lyles, zoo donation, share the care, $30. City claims. Do we have city claims?
We have no city claims tonight then.
Thank you. Any payroll?
Yes, payroll number 26 with a pay date of December 29th, 2022, in the amount of $61,922.40.
Thank you. Motion to approve.
Motion now, approve that.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now we'll get to gifts and donations. Peg Lyles, zoo donation, share the care, $30. I have a motion to approve.
So move.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Minor transfers, rec fund 2204,503, decrease account electric, $38, increase account telephone, $38. Golf fund 2508, triple zero, decrease seasonal wages, $12,916, decrease travel expense, $240, increase regular wages, $12,916, and increase telephone, $240. Do you have a motion to approve the minor transfers?
So move.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, there were no zoo endowment bills, no Board of Work bills, and no credit card charges. So that concludes the financials. Any comments from the public tonight? Please. Welcome.
Thank you. Want to come down? You know, I have a big mouth. So I think everybody knows who I am, but for those of you watching at home and around the world, my name is Victor Tierney. I'm the owner of Urban Country Adventures. I really just wanted to come down and say thank you to everybody. Everybody on the park board, everybody in the parks department, Pat sitting behind me. I know Mr. Dabney here. I know you're on city council. I don't think we've had the pleasure of actually meeting face to face, but everybody in the whole city. I count myself as a very fortunate person to be here in Michigan City with my boats, and I see the bright future that we have. And I know because I've been around politics a long time. I know everybody doesn't play nice all together sometimes, but everybody has been truly great to work with here. And it's amazing to see everything getting done. And I just tell everybody who asks me, our city's future is so bright. I just can't wait to see where it's going down the road. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has helped my business while I've been here. And I hope that we're giving back. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. You certainly do give back, and we consider it a great partnership.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other public comment or board comment?
I guess I'll go in under public comment. Just wanted to say, I don't know if I will be at the next meeting. We had our election of officers last night at our council meeting, change over the president, vice president, and they are the ones that do the appointments. I mean, I am going to put in, obviously, to see if I can stay with the park department, something that I've been involved with, obviously, and understand. And I really like being a part of this, these meetings here, and I have some input of what I think and bring some information coming from the council as well. So hopefully this is not my last. Like I said, I will put in to the new council president that I be put back on as liaison to the park department. And just want to say, thank you to all of the workers in the park department, top to bottom, do amazing work here with our city. And this is a real important part of the amenities and the things that we have to do here in Michigan City. So continue good work, and thank you guys.
Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Any other board comments tonight?
I'd just like to thank for all the hard work you do down at Millennium Plaza. It's great to see it being used other than just sitting around. I had the opportunity to go out to the zoo the day they let the tigers out in their new exhibit, and I'm telling you, make sure you get down there and look at it. It's just an amazing, just that there's so much room. They probably think they're back in the jungle. But it really is very, very nice, and I can't wait for the lions. And I went out this morning early to get my newspaper, and I thought Mr. Volz was going to have to get his crew out to take the weeds away from the tulips. It was so nice, but never mind. I went out tonight. Tulips aren't coming up.
Mr. Dabney, I hope they do reappoint you too, because you bring such value and insight to these meetings, and we appreciate your attendance and your insight.
Thank you.
Your input. You're welcome. Unless there are any other comments, our next meeting is Wednesday, January 18th at 5 o'clock right here. A motion to adjourn.
So move.